most common way that the food industry lies is based on fear, okay? Because scaremongering is extremely effective. Let's face it, people tend to act out of their self-interest. So with Prop 37, how this worked was the food industry claimed that a simple label would result in higher food prices. And in a time when people are already a little freaked out about higher food prices, this was an extremely effective fear-mongering tactic. A kind of second cousin of this tactic is job loss. So this plays out more in the realm of some other issues like soda taxes, right? So the idea is just by placing a small tax on soda, all the retailers are going to go out of business, okay? Very effective scare tactic, playing into the fears that we already have, legitimate concerns, of course, about the economy, about job loss. It's also a really great way to give politicians cover. But in neither of these cases, higher food prices or job losses, does industry have actual facts to back up their claims? And that's really what you need to keep in mind whenever you hear these types of claims. What kind of data is there to back up their claims? And often there is none. Another scare tactic is that of Big Brother, right? So this is an image from the Pepsi truck in New York City during the battle over the limits of sugary drinks, a proposal by Mayor Bloomberg in New York. So this scare tactic is actually based on decades of brainwashing, mostly thanks to the right wing, that says anything that government wants to do has got to be bad and that we should be afraid of Big Brother government. And all of this is really to distract from any conversation about actual facts. For example, how much sugar is actually in these massive containers of soda. Industry doesn't want to have a debate about facts or even a legitimate policy debate about whether this type of policy is a good idea. Instead, they want to keep the conversation on these distractions, on these fear-mongering tactics. You think about how these all kind of tie together, right? Higher food prices, job losses, Big Brother. This is supposedly industry's way of showing how much they care about you, the consumer, and how much they need to protect you from these scary things. But when you think about it that way, you realize how absurd that is, because industry doesn't really care about you, the consumer. They care about getting your dollar. They care about making sure they win whatever policy debate they want to have. But industry isn't really acting in your best interests. Okay? So when you hear these arguments, it's always important to keep that in mind. Who's making this argument and what is their underlying motivation?